Today we're going to talk about what I want to do tomorrow to open class, and it's going to be sending the seniors Thanksgiving cards. But I don't want those cards where you kind of say Merry Christmas and then just throw it out. It was kind of nice, but didn't really mean much to me. So I want Christmas, and we're also going to send them Christmas cards. But that's the grade high school students. So this is one I made. Dear friends, hope our beautiful mountains bring you joy. People travel across the world just to see them. I will have tremendous joy watching my 3 kids opening their presents. Do you remember what your favorite present was when you were a kid? Do you remember your children's or pets' favorite present of all time? God bless you with peace and joy in 2021. Please know we're praying for you at each day and looking forward to celebrating Christmas with you. So we worked 9 years, I think, with Tudor Manor. We used to have Christmas concerts with them. It's been awesome until COVID hit, and then we've just been sending them e-cards for Christmas and Easter. And then last year I started doing it with Heartland and Sandstone as well, so more seniors throughout the community. We can't send e-cards because the firewall, I can't get into that website right now, so we're going to just send them cards. And so I want you to write a card tomorrow. It's kind of your Thanksgiving, your homework. I want you to write it, take 10 minutes and write a meaningful one. Not just Happy Thanksgiving, have a good one. That's what my dad says. My dad's wedding card to me said, have a good one. His birthday card said, have a good one. That's all he says. That's his thing. Anyways, we want more than have a good one. We want to have stuff like this. And then I made one. I had a little, God bless, not a poem, but just something fun. And then here's some of the students. Introduce yourself. And then make it meaningful, because we have some seniors in there. They don't see their family very much before COVID, and certainly less with COVID. We have some lonely people. You know, you can imagine being mom and dad, and you're with you and your kids and your spouse your whole life, 24/7, and all of a sudden now you're in a building by yourself with some friends maybe, but it's not the same as being with family. So we have some lonely people. We want to brighten their day. We want to make their month. Okay, so make a really good card. Have something prepared so you can just write it down tomorrow when I give you that card. Sound good? Everyone happy with that? Give me 10 minutes. Real good card. Pretend you're writing to your grandpa and grandma, and just make it so meaningful and touching. And I'll deliver those on Thursday. Now to the math part. You have a daily quiz on the whiteboard. Get a separate piece of paper out and do these questions, please. That will tell me whether you did your homework or not. Now it's time to put the homework in action and get 5 out of 5, I dare you. For the podcast people, I'll write down the questions. This is your daily quiz number 2. Or you can click GCF daily quiz. And the first question is factor. You have to know how to start these, so I'll give you a hint on 10 muchachos subtract 5 muchachos squared. You need to put something there and then bracket. If you have 2 terms in your question, you have 2 terms in your bracket. There you go. That's for that. Term includes the sign. Okay, good enough. Okay, so do these questions, podcast people. Let me write this for you. Actually, I'm just going to pause it, write it, and then I'll do this. One sec. You guys have any questions? Yep. So that's B. I'm going to have to write them pretty close together. And D and E are just find the GCF. Okay, podcast people, that's all on the screen for you. So I'm going to pause it now, and you can pause it to rate all those questions and do them, please. Oh, I'll wait till 4:44 though. God bless Uncle John. Nice place, Matthew, correcting this on your own, my friend. So here you take the 5 and the smallest exponent, 5m. 1 times 5m equals 10m. 2. What times 5m equals negative 5, negative 1. and you need m squareds. You don't need to put the 1 there. If you do, that's fine. I'll mark right. Check. Look up. Good thumbs. This one's a little harder, and I hope I have room to do it. 4 is a big, you start with 4 and go down the list of factors. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Smallest exponent of a is a squared. Smallest exponent of b is b, as long as they all have a b. If they don't all have a b, you can't take a b out of all of them. So it has to be common to all of them. Then what? Bracket. Okay, factoring means create brackets. Another way you can do it is divide everything by 4a squared b. So you get 3a and the b's cancel. Divide this, divide that. And 4a squared b, you get plus 2ab. And what happens when you have something that divided all by itself? What do you need to put here? Plus, you have to put a plus 1 there. That's a good question to do. Anything divided by itself is 1. So this divided by itself is also equal to 1. It doesn't equal 0, it equals 1 when they cancel. Okay? This one I asked you to take a negative out. If the first term starts with a negative, you'll see why once we do grouping. And the smallest exponent. And then you got to be careful, because you might just have something like, I don't know, this. You might have that. You might have that. You might be guessing with your signs a little bit. If you write it this way, you'll get your signs correct. However, double check to see if you get what you started with. Here I get negative m to the 7th. Yep. Here I get negative 4m squared. Yep. Here negative times negative is positive. Okay. Good job, me. If you don't take a negative out, your grouping is going to be incomplete. Or you're going to make more work for yourself anyway. GCF here, everyone. 8. Good job. Not 2 or 4. And GCF here.
On the board it says 18. For D. Like on the whiteboard?
18? That's what I have. Okay, you did that one. 8. You did this one. What is it? 6. Good job. And then this one, you got 4 and an 8. So 4 is a GCF. What letters are GCFs? X and zebra. All right. Good job. You started this class. Everyone got 5 out of 5 as long as you have the answers on your quiz. Thanks for showing up. Wow, that's good. You gonna be a fireman or a policeman when you grow up? The hero over there. You saved your water bottle. Oh, good job. That's gonna be a tough life, but who needs sleep? Okay, so go to page 25, which is where I am right here. And we'll do some grouping work. Let's just remind ourselves what we did last day. Hi. Quick. Last day we took out common binomials. So we saw an x plus 7 in red here, for example 1a. We took an x plus 7 out, and then 4x subtract 7, the leftovers. Here we took a 3 subtract 2y out, and then everything that's not 3 subtract 2y goes into the other bracket. No? Hi. Okay. Thank you. Man, you called. You got him? Man, you called, so you meet him at the office. Take your stuff. Good luck with the contract. Then we had a couple of these where you had an extra step. You had to collect like terms in this one. Here you had take a 3 out of that leftover bracket. And then here we saw, and we'll see it again today, so take a peek. When we have something that is different, with subtraction, it's reversed. You have to change this sign, well, just what it says. And then we're able to do a factoring question. Have a good night. This one, we already finished it, so let's go to grouping. And let's add this to our important information page. Okay, so right here, important information page. What do you want me to sign? Nice. Okay, so important information page, write that down or get that for the next one. And let's do some grouping. My technical term for the grouping is slice and dice. And before I write another thing down, if you look at here, I can take an X out, but I can't take an X out of that term. And all of these, I can take a 3 out, but I can't take a 3 out of here. So we cannot take a GCF out of all the terms. So how do we start this? Well, we treat one question like 2 questions. Okay, so we're going to pretend this isn't even here and take the GCF out of the first 2 terms. So let's write that down. Treat this as 2 questions. I could even say easier questions, 2 easier GCF questions. Maybe put GCF there. And so let's take the GCF, just what you did on your quiz. Factor the first 2 terms. So we can take an x out, the smallest exponent. What's left over? X times x equals x squared, and x times plus 3 equals 3x. It's just what you did last day and a half. Everyone good with that? See what's going on? Now, we deal with the last 2 terms. So we'll put some blue brackets around there, include that sign. Now I can take a 6 out of there, and what's left over when I divide this by 6 and this by 6 is x plus 3. Ding, 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 ding. If we do this properly, we should get the exact same greatest common binomial. I know, it is amazing, Shante. This is awesome. Okay, so finish it off quick. Write down the GCF binomial and write down the leftovers in the second bracket. And then the next question we'll do one step at a time. Okay, so your common binomial is x plus 3. Whatever is not x plus 3 goes into the other bracket, which is x plus 6. Woo. All right, let's do the first step on B. Let's just factor the first 2 terms and ignore everything else. You need questions on A? You guys know what's going on? It's just 2 separate questions, GCF questions, and once you do it properly, then you have a common binomial you can take out. You need to know how to do this. This is 80% of decomp. You can't do decomp unless you know how to group, because grouping is basically the second, third, fourth step of decomposition. So you have to know how to do this. 4 terms, do 2 terms at a time, and then if you do it properly, you'll have a common binomial you can take out and put in brackets. All right, go ahead and factor 8x squared subtract 2x. Smallest number going down from highest factor to lowest factor, and smallest exponent. So here, take a 2x out. And what's left over? 2 times 1 equals 8. 4. I had 2 x's. I took 1 out, so I have 1 left. And 2 times what equals negative 2? Negative 1. And I took an x out, so I don't need any more x's. Anybody get that? One person. That's perfect. Good teaching by me. Oh, there's a few more. And next, now I got to take and make sure you include this sign, because it's very important when it's subtraction. So include this sign. Now let's do the green bracket. Take a GCF out of the green bracket, and you should have 2 brackets match up. Otherwise, you took a 2 out when you should take a 4 out, or you didn't take an x out when you needed to take an x out. Okay, so if you made a mistake, your brackets won't match up. Usually the mistake is easy enough to find. Okay, so you're factoring this. So take a 3 out. And what do you get left over? If you divide by 3, you get 4x. Subtract 1. Ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what you want. You want to have the exact same brackets. Now finish it off. Take out the binomial GCF and then write down the leftover part in the other bracket. The reason why when we take out the 4x, subtract 1, they cancel. And the only thing left is the 2x plus 3. So 4x subtract 1 times 2x plus 3, everything that's not 4x plus 1. So cool. All right, let's do C together, which means I got to erase this. So you mind still writing that down? Take 2 steps this way, 2 steps that way. Do the hokey pokey. All right, I want, sure. Let's use the black marker. Okay, first one, take out not a 2a, but a 4a. Well, I get 2a, subtract 1. You don't have to do it that fast, but I'm going to stop explaining it in great detail all the time. So if you're having trouble with this stuff, you need to come see me at Math Help tomorrow, and we'll work on it. And then for the the red, there's a negative. When, and I talked about this yesterday, when the first term starts with a negative, take a negative GCF out, okay? Don't take a 5 out, take a negative 5. So here, I'm going to take a negative 5 out. And then what's divided by negative 5? This is 2a. And this divided by negative 5 is subtract 1. And your brackets should match. What the other thing you need to do is check to make sure you didn't make a sign mistake. So that gives you a negative 10a, and that gives you plus 5. I'm good. Or, if you don't like that way, you're not a big fan of negative signs, that confuses the heck out of you. You can also use the knowledge that you should have this bracket right here. So if you want to work backwards, and just write down that bracket, assuming this is right. If you took a 2 out, that wouldn't be right. You can say, okay, from here, what times 2 equals negative 10? Everybody? Negative 5. And then do it that way, and then just make sure this times this equals 5. And it does. So take a negative GCF out if you want to, or just write down the bracket you got in the first one and then work backwards. It's up to you. Talk to me. You may. Not tough questions. I like that. I like tough questions too. Okay, F. Take a quick peek at that. I'll give you a minute to do that. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, probably 2 minutes. Have you done their envelopes already? Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, hearts. All right. Perfect. I just want to put it here. So don't forget pumpkins. What do you mean you probably do a couple? I can do 3 more. Here's if you want. I love it. You even made your own saying up. I didn't say you could say that. Good job. Okay, so we got a little stuck here. Anybody? Oops. Oh, no, it's leaving. Ooh. Sorry. Anybody figure this one out? Because I can't. You can't, there is no GCF. You can take a 1 out, but then you get the same thing and you don't go anywhere. I want to go somewhere. Anybody have an idea? Mr. Yates, 100% on yesterday's quest. Go ahead, sir.
You have to like put the numbers that have common factors together, so like the 5 and 15.
Perfect.
15 and 6.
Good. You could actually put this here, or you could put this here. Now, I'm going to just do a procedure that works every single time. If you switch the middle terms, it will always work. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do every time. If you put the 6 by the 5, you could take an X out, and you'll still get the same answer. I'm just going to do this all the time. I'm going to switch the middle terms. So 5x squared, exactly what Liam just said, plus, you know what, let me do that different color. So I'll give you a hint on brackets. Okay, now it's your turn. Finish it off, please. So you can go from question to answer. Take a GCF of the first 2 terms, then take a GCF of the second 2 terms, or the final 2 terms, I should say. And then there should be a greatest common binomial to take out. And then write the leftovers, everything that's not the binomial, into the second bracket, please. Money? Oh, sweet, 25 bucks. Just saying, everyone should be a teacher. You guys ever see one of these green bills before? 20. $20. Okay. Someone can win this money. All you have to do is guess the serial number. Merrick, give me a letter.
Hey.
No, good job. You're only 13 numbers and letters away. Should have said F. You would have been 1% there. Okay, let's see how you did. If you're not there yet, just don't look up and I'll go slowly. Slowly. Aha! This is a super duper hard question, because now what happens when you don't have the exact same brackets? So you have the reverse in subtraction, Libby?
Switch the signs.
Very good. Okay, so go ahead and switch that sign, and then now it's from yesterday's last 2 questions. Oh, you almost got one. So close. You did get one in?
I don't know.
There are 2 people in this class got one. 5x despite the teaching. Okay, once you reverse this and change this sign, then you can take an x, subtract 3y squared out. And what's the last bracket of somebody, everyone?
5x.
Good man. Okay, check. Now, if you distribute this, if you're not sure if you're right, well, here's a 5x squared. Got it. Here's a negative 6x. Got it. Here's a negative 15xy squared. Get it? And here's a plus 18y squared. Check using FOIL if you have any doubts on your answer, or give it extra time after you write a quiz or something. Yes, sir.
Could you also like switch the 5 so that it would be negative 5 to match the 3y2 minus x?
You mean this one?
Yeah. Like if you made that one a negative.
Made this negative 5. Yeah, you could flip that and that would work out the same thing.
Okay.
Really any question here on the chocolate bar list? But you understand why, right? Yep. For sure. And it's, in essence, you're just multiplying or dividing both of them by -1. Okay, next is the next page. You got 5 questions to do. On page 26, 1 second, guys. And once 6 questions actually, and once you do that, you can start on your homework. Your homework is page 26 and 27 tonight, and Thanksgiving paragraph. Please make that count. Okay, let's give another person a chance to win candy. Number 11, Wheel of Fortune. Shantae, you're picking first. Now, you do not say the answer unless it's your turn, because you cannot win unless it's your turn. So don't say anything. I don't even like saying, oh, I know. Don't really like that. But don't say the answer, please. You need a letter, Shantae. Wheel of Fortune. B. Oh, how did you know? Now you have to guess what it says. It's pretty obvious to me. No? No? And next. No, it has to be your turn. It has to be your turn. Haley, your turn. Guess a letter. Don't say anything. E. Don't say anything. Now you have to guess those two words. Easy.
There's nothing there.
Miss Boone. Letter. A is a good one. Pretty obvious. Oh, hold on. You know what?
No.
Nah, good try. Nothing J. I. Nope. Just kidding. No eyes. Got you all. I'm funny.
What word?
Next. C, yes. It's a good pick. Don't say anything if it's not your turn. Avery, you got 5 seconds to. Libby does not look like she knows the answer. She's got those eyebrows that are confused. Confused eyebrow look. Pick a letter. H. Good try. Oh, no. Good try.
R.
R is going to be helpful. Don't say anything.
Oh, great graphic.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. All right, good stuff. Ariane, you want watermelon, white mystery, cherry, or blue raspberry?
White one.
Okay. Now, we also have a free draw, so everyone else might win. I need a bigger die, though. Okay, 7, you win. Gabe, what do you want? Blue, green, or red? Blue. Fun stuff. He just got one for being cool. We're doing these right now. 6 questions. When you're done, go ahead and do your homework on page 26 and 27 and write your Thanksgiving paragraph and bring it to class, so we'll write it on a card. Here we go. Let's correct these 6 questions, and they're going to be on here for me. So this is your first question right here. Go ahead and look at it. You might get this answer. A plus 2 times A plus 6. Ding, 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 or vice versa. If you put the A plus 6, that's okay. But the brackets have to be exactly the same. Want to kill one light, please? Thanks, Just. I also want to look at this one. This is your third question. You might get M subtract 5 times M plus 2. Yep. Good. What's up?
Would you rather us write X's instead of ones?
X instead of 1s?
Well, like, because X equals 1, the others just write X.
Then 1x, you mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you want to write 1x, it doesn't matter to me, but you won't see that on the multiple choice. Okay, so you just have to know it's the same thing. If it helps you write a 1, I'm okay with that. Okay, next question is this one. So we put those in brackets, take out a GCF, and they get a common 3x plus 1. Did I get that? Again, how do you know? Well, you can go 3x squared plus 6x plus x plus 2. I got them all. No sign mistakes. Obviously, that was no sign mistakes because they're all positive. Oops. Next is D. The next one I want to see anyway. That's your D. That's your second last question on that little section there, 6b squared. This is where you have to take a negative out if your third term has a subtraction sign. Or you can work backwards, either way, that's what you should get. Anybody get this? 2b subtract 3. Two negatives in your answer. That's a good answer. Good for you. Good job not making sound mistakes. And lastly, I'm not sure where it is. Hoping there it is. Last question was the hardest one where you have to switch the middle terms. That's what I would do. They didn't. They put these two together and these two together. Or no, I guess they didn't. Yeah, they did the same thing. I would have done. No, they didn't. Kind of. This is rewritten differently. Anyway, any way you do it, you should get that answer. B subtract x times B subtract x. Party, who needs Xbox? Who needs cell phones? You got math and questions. It's so awesome. Plus you get to do this class for free. Like you don't have to pay money to do math. That is awesome. So jealous. Wish I could have math tests. But I've had many of those, that's for sure. Homework. Next 2 pages. And now we're going to page 28. And this is the final questions. I do have math help tomorrow at lunch, don't forget. And I don't need that anymore. I do need that. What? That's a mess. It's just this clear page. All right, start anew. Let's talk about some product factoring. We're going to set it up the table nicely today. And then tomorrow, we're going to eat some product factoring questions. First thing I want to do, make sure you know that sum means addition and product means multiplication. And we're just going to do the positives. We don't have to worry about integer rules yet. So we need 2 numbers and then multiply to 20. Always start with the product. That's what it says right here. Start with the product. That says actually part with the product, but you just do that, and it says start with the product. The reason why is because there's only this amount of factors, that multiply to 20. One of those pairs have to add to 12. The sum has infinite numbers in the world that add to 12. We talk about positives and negatives. So you always start with the product. So which ones add to 12? Right here. Ding, 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 ding. Do these ones. These 2, please. And, can I do this, or is it going to write green? Yes. And, what? And do these ones here. Just the positive ones. The ones that have a positive sum and a positive product. You go. So 3 in those boxes and 2 here. Go, go, go. I need 2 numbers that multiply to 20 and add to 9. 2 numbers to multiply to 4, and the same 2 numbers add to 4. That's a hard one. Hi. Thank you. Just it. Where's that? Oh, it's still recording. Two numbers are multiplied to 20 and add to same two numbers add to 9. Everyone?
4.
No, it's 5 and 4. Good try. Not 4 and 5. Doesn't matter which order you put them in. Good job. Two numbers multiplied to 4 and add to 4. 2 and 2. I'll take that one. And these guys. Two numbers are multiplied to 24. Again, if this helps you, you can write down all the numbers that multiply to 24. It has to be one of these four that add to 11. Which one is it? 3 and 8. And sorry, I did this one. So what was two numbers multiplied 18 and add to 11, everyone? 9 and 2 or 2 and 9, doesn't matter which order. And if you know your multiplication tables, this will take you 5 seconds. If you don't, it's going to take you longer. Two numbers are multiplied to 64 and added 16. 8 and 8. Double frosty. Okay, let's do the harder ones now where we got some negative things going on. And we're going to talk about negative sums, so we'll write this on the top of the page. Well, first of all, let's go here so I don't have to write it twice. If you have a positive product, that means the two numbers have the same signs. That means they're both positive or they're both negative. Go ahead and write that down, please. If you have a negative product, that means they have opposite signs, which means you have one positive number and one negative number, or vice versa. So that's important to know. If you see a negative product, you automatically know it's one positive, one negative. If you see a positive product, or they're both positive, which we just did, or they're both negative. The other hint that I do with negative products, so write this down, please. You do not need to put this on your important information page, is if sum is positive, that means the big number is positive. If sum is negative, the big number is negative. That might help you. It might not, and you might do it a different way, and that's fine too. I'll show you that way, and I'll show you another way that you can do to help you do these ones. Here's our first one that has a negative sign. So positive product, 18. That means you use two positive signs or two negative signs. And if they add to a negative, these are two negatives. So 18, there's only 3 pairs of numbers that multiply to 18, 3 pairs of factors, I should have said. And they both have to be negative. So -3 and -6. Similar to this one, go ahead and do that one for me. Positive product, so you know they're both negative if they add to a negative. A little trickier, this one. But the only choices are 1 times 14 and 2 times 7. That's the only factors that multiply to 14. So what are they? Somebody? -1 and -14. Or vice versa. Now we finally have a negative product, which means that we have a positive number and a negative number. Again, you only have 2 pairs of factors of 6, so it has to be this one or this one. You should be getting the numbers. Which ones can you get a 1 out of? Have a difference of 1, 2, and 3. Now this is what I wrote on the top of the page. If the sum is negative, the big number is negative. Okay, so if it's -3 and 2, don't put -2 and 3. Okay, -2 is different from 2, just like 4 is different than 5. I'll give you half marks at the beginning, but at the end I'll give you not half marks, even less than that. You have to get the signs correct. The other way you can do this is just guess which one is negative and see if it works. So if I put -2 and I add these, I get 1. That's not right. I need -1, so I'm just going to switch the signs. So you can either guess and check, or you can use the rule, if the sum is negative, the big number is negative. If sum is positive, the big number is positive. Okay, go ahead and do these last two, please. And you might be quick with these, you might be slow, it doesn't matter. You just need to get quicker and quicker and quicker. And you need to use your calculator super fast if you don't know your multiplication tables. 48 divided by 2, 48 divided by 3. 3 times 16, 4 times 12, 6 times 8. Okay, if you don't know those, you just do it in your calculator real quick. 48 divided by whatever. Get the numbers, the factors of 48. Has anyone heard my podcast? I've been doing it lately with my mask on. And I probably should have to do this for the next 3 minutes. I keep forgetting to put this super speaker on. Sorry, podcast people. Okay, so -15, that means you have a positive and a negative. The numbers are going to be 5 and 3. Which one's positive, which one's negative? Well, if the sum is positive, the big number is positive. Check. 5 and -3, multiply it to -15, and add to +2. If you have reverse signs, you're not checking your work. If you have your reverse signs, that's okay, but fix it, because they don't add to 2, they add to -2. Okay, so it's an easy fix. And this one, you may get that, probably not, it's impossible. I can't figure it out. I don't think any two numbers go, except for those two other ones. Which one? Somebody? Those are? Yeah, -2 and -24. Awesome. Those are rules. Or vice versa. Okay, finish the rest of the chart, of the next chart, please. There you go. Do all the ones that have negatives in them. Oops. So that one, that one, that one. 5 of those. Using the rules, if it's a negative product, you know it's a positive number and a negative number, opposite signs. If it's a positive product, you know they're both positive or they're both negative. That's very helpful information when you're trying to figure out your numbers. If you want to get faster and faster at this, just keep doing these charts. You have the answers, just write down the charts again, do them again tomorrow, do them again the next day. And this is what we'll be doing tomorrow when we factor using some product. If you're guessing, then check to see if your numbers multiply to -10 and add to -3. If they don't, then switch the signs. Multiply to -10, you must have a positive number and a negative number. So cool, I'm going to stop this at 44:44. That's Uncle Trent. Go Raiders. Oh, I do want to pray. Let's pray, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. We saw an accident yesterday and shook me up a little bit. It happened right in front of us. I had my 3 kids in the van. someone, and this is a good learning point for your driving as well, someone was probably waiting at the Caven Farms intersection for 3 minutes and couldn't get in and decided they would go quickly between cars and hit the back of a truck going 110 kilometers an hour. That car was crunched in half. The other truck spun out into the ditch. I was 5 seconds away from that accident. 5 more seconds, that would have been us. So I quickly turned right because I had some freedom and I didn't keep my kids to watch because there were lots of people that witnessed it and stopped and had cell phones to call 911. I just pray that we're all safe on the road and make good decisions on the road when you start driving, and just relax. Rash decisions usually don't work out. If there's any doubt in mind whether to pass the semi or pass anything, you don't do it. Okay, so take care of yourself, and just pray that for people in those accidents had very minor injuries, and there's probably 100 other accidents on Calgary. The same thing, just pray for safety for your family and friends, and always guardian angels around you. So let's pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. Okay, let's do this one. Let's finish this. -10 is 5 and 2. If the sum is negative, the big number is negative. Check. 8. 2 positive numbers or 2 negative numbers. What are they? -4 and -2. You betcha. 90, that's a fun one. Anybody get this one? Opposite signs. What'd you get, Jenna?
I'm trying to figure out, but I did a positive one.
Okay, good try. What are the 2 numbers do you think when you 9, 10? Oops, I just said it. Dominic? 9 and 10, you said -9. Yeah, so sum is positive. That means the big number is positive. That's how I do it. This one's a harder one. -40 and -18. Talk to me.
-20.
Perfect. Good job. And lastly, what'd you get for 2 numbers that multiplied to -48 and the same 2 numbers add to -2? Everybody? 6 and -8. Perfect. You're perfect. Have a perfect evening. God bless. Have an awesome day. Ha ha ha.